Hi everyone, my name is Anagha Thomas and I'm a representative of group number 11. I am here to present fungi-based meat alternatives, which are meatless nuggets of brand Quon. Let's start with the introduction. It's always interesting to know the history behind a food product, right? So in 1960, Mr. Rank Hovis McDougall realized that a fungi called Fusarium venenatum has a potential to produce a protein, which is possible for the human consumption. This Fusarium venenatum was also known as Fusarium germinarium. He spent almost 12 years for the safety studies of this fungi. The safety and toxicology studies were really important for this fungi because this was not used for the food product before. And in 1984, after all the studies, UK authorized the sale of mycoprotein derived from this fungi Fusarium venenatum after all the toxicology and safety studies. And it was marketed over 2 dozens of countries. It was marketed with the name Curon, out of which UK and US were the major consumers. The raw materials used in the food products were mainly mycoprotein, which is obviously derived from Fusarium venenatum, vegetable flavoring, and a small amount of egg albumin, which act as a binder. Moving to the production process. The sterilized raw materials and the fungi Fusarium venenatum will be incorporated and put in a fermenter. This fermenter is actually a pressure cycle reactor. And in this is actually a continuous process. Continuous flow method is used for the fungal biomass production, in which glucose and ammonia will be added. The glucose will act as a carbon source and ammonia act as a nitrogen source. This is actually a long process of 6 duration at 28 to 30 degrees Celsius and at pH 6. After this, the mixture will be transferred into a separate stirring reactor where heat shock will be applied to reduce the RNA concentration. It will be reduced from 10% to less than 2%. The heat shock will be given at 68 degrees Celsius and at pH 6. This process is about 20 to 45 minutes in length. And after that, continuous heat is given with steam, and it increase the heat up to 90 degrees Celsius to yield more than 20% of the solid. And after that, the centrifugation will be take place, in which the RNA will be removed. And then the mixture will be allowed to cool from 90 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. In that process, the mycoprotein will be formed. And this mycoprotein will be taken into a mixer, and another raw materials such as egg albumin and coloring and flavoring agents will be added in this mixture and blend really well. After the mixing process, there will be coating process in which breading and seasoning will be taking place. And then it allowed to cook. Many cooking methods such as frying, baking, steaming, everything is used. Anything can be used. And after cooking, there will be methods used to extend the shelf life of the product. This method will be discussed in the next slides. And then it allowed to cool. Either freezing or refrigeration can be used for cooling, and then followed by packing and storage. These are the production process. Moving to the equipments and principles of the operation. First one is the formation. The formation of nugget will be taking place in a conveyor, and various shapes of the product can be resulted from this conveyor. And next one is strewing machine. This is actually a machine using light scattering for making small breadcrumbs. And there will be incorporation of air knives in this procedure. Next equipment is fried mushroom processing machine. This is exclusively for frying the mushrooms. There is a special feature of water and oil separation and automatic temperature control, which makes the process really easy for everyone. And then is the cooling. Cooling tunnels are used for cooling, and the temperature of minus 18 degrees Celsius, up to temperature of minus 18 degrees Celsius is possible with this cooling tunnels. Next is a packaging machine. The VFFS machines are used, which is vertical form fill seal machines are used to produce the bags. So the film will be converted into the shape of the bags. It is a high speed process. For example, 80 bags are formed per minute operation. Next is storage. So just like I mentioned before, refrigeration can be used for the storage, in which the storage can be done in airtight containers or wrapped tightly with heavy duty aluminum foil, or even just the plastic wrap can be used. Next is the preservation and packaging. There are a lot of procedures for the preservation method. Any of this can be used. The first one is blanching in a solution of 2% NaCl, citric acid, sodium hydroxide, and 0.15% KMS at 21 to 20 degrees Celsius. This is the first method. The next one is using low amounts of gamma radiation, and sun-dried method can also be used, and several thermal techniques like frying, steaming, and boiling can also be used. And there are other preservation techniques such as UV rays, which is not using thermal techniques, such as UV rays, high pressure techniques, and antimicrobial, incorporation of antimicrobials as well. And the last one is cooling. It can be either freezing or refrigeration. And the last thing is the packaging. So usually low density polythene bags are used for the packaging of this thing. That's it. And these are the references we used. Thank you so much for listening.